Okay, I don't remember anything about the video, except that it was about Jehovah and it had some images of, aliens and people being resurrected and all that stuff. But, I just remember that, it was really scary, and I was trying to block it out of my mind, because it was so scary. And I guess my mind kind of did block it out somehow, I don't know if the medications had to do with that, blocking it out. Repression is a defense mechanism. If you don't already know, in psychology they teach you that. Usually if a person undergoes a very stressful situation, their mind uses defense mechanisms to block out or to kind of deal with the stress or whatever. And I don't know if maybe my mind developed a defense mechanism, which is repression, or I don't know if repression is a myth, but I don't remember that video that well. And it's funny because the next day I didn't remember it at all, so okay, so going back to me watching the video, so I watched it. After I watched it, I came out of the room that I was in, and went into the living room, and my aunt was sitting on the couch, my cousin was sitting on the couch, and I was telling them, why didn't you guys, you guys knew this all along, why didn't you tell me? And they were like, tell you? They were just like laughing, they were just smiling, and I was really confused because why are they smiling and why are they laughing, I was thinking, is this really, what's going on? And they didn't really answer my question when I asked them, you guys knew this all along, why didn't you tell me? They didn't answer my question. They kind of just ignored me. Or, I don't know. Maybe they didn't really understand what I was talking about, so they ignored me or something. But I was shaking because I was so scared after I watched that disturbing video on YouTube. I was shaking, and it was weird because I all of a sudden felt this really, really, I felt good, I was shaking, but I felt good at the same time. I thought, I discovered this brilliant thing, I discovered something so brilliant, and I need to tell my mom about this because my mom, I'm an only child. I tell my mom everything, and my mom's like basically someone that I'm really close to. So when my mom went to go pick me up a few minutes later, I was talking really fast. I was shaking a little bit, and I was saying, Mom, I discovered this brilliant thing, I discovered that good and evil are one, And I know that's kind of disturbing, but maybe it's disturbing, I don't know. But she's like, what? What are you talking about? What do you mean good and evil are one? I don't understand what you're talking about. I kept talking and talking. I kept talking and talking and talking, and I was so excited about what I was talking about. When we got home, my neck was stiff. My neck was stiff, and I was hearing that telepathic voice in my head again, and it told me, do you want to live or do you want to die? Then, that is when I started crying my eyes out, because I thought God was telling me, or the higher power, or whoever, that, something that I did was horrible or something. You know, I felt horrible. Like, I felt like when that voice inside my head asked me, do you want to live or do you want to die? I felt like super guilty. You know, I was saying sorry about all these wrong things that I've done, you know. I was saying sorry to everything that I did wrong, you know. Yeah. My neck was really stiff, I remember. Super stiff. Who knows why? Maybe racing thoughts or whatever. Stress, whatever. After that, my mom was like, I don't really remember what happened after that, to be honest. All I remember is that my mom and I were sitting in the emergency room the waiting room of the emergency room, and she had a blanket over my head, and I was repeating over and over, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. Like, I kept repeating that, Jesus Christ, over and over again. And I couldn't handle looking at people. Like, I couldn't take looking at people. I had to keep my head under the cover, and keep repeating Jesus Christ because I was so scared. I was so scared, and, you know, I kept repeating Jesus Christ and out loud, you know, and I'm assuming the people in the waiting room either felt sorry for me because, I don't know, like, I saw one of the patients' faces, and they looked worried, you know. I don't know if they felt sorry or something, but when the nurse checked us in and was, you know, asking us questions about, you know, my symptoms and how much I was weighing, you know, or how much I weighed and what my age was, you know, they put us in a second waiting room, but it was smaller and it had like, it was like more privacy, you know. My mom and I were praying. Both of our eyes were closed. And I remember that when I was praying, well, I wasn't praying, to be honest. Like, my mom was. But I remember my mom was praying or something. She was praying. And I remember we were both praying and both of our eyes were closed. But something that was weird that I remember was that somebody was touching my shoulder, but it wasn't, I couldn't feel like the hand, like it was just like pressure on my shoulder, as if somebody were putting pressure on my shoulder like this, like, but it was like so much pressure, like when I was praying, and it was just there for a few minutes and then it went away, you know, and that was just weird, I think, you know. I didn't want to open my eyes because I knew it was something supernatural or something, you know, because I was having those thoughts. So after that, they took me into the ER, and supposedly I was talking to myself, and I was laughing and crying, and I was very, very, I was mocking the nurses. I was mocking them, laughing at them. But then I ended up crying, and I was crying so much, and I remember one of the nurses ran towards me, and she injected me with something to calm me down. I'm assuming it was Ativan or something, but I remember she injected me with something, and then I fell asleep. I know that for a fact because my mom was there. She told me I fell asleep and didn't wake up until who knows when. So after that, I was sent to the mental hospital, where they put me on Depakote. No, they put me on Risperdal. Yeah, Risperdal. I will never forget that because I had such a horrible experience with Risperdal. I had dystonia with the Risperdal, so my tongue was sticking out, turning blue. It was just horrible. And I couldn't control my jaw. It was just like painful because I felt the muscle was like, I don't know. It was just a really creepy and scary. So, after that, I was sent home with the Risperdal. I still had paranoia. I had delusions, yes. A lot of delusions. I was thinking weird things. I was scared of the dark. I could not, for the life of me, go into a dark room by myself, and I could not look at the outside the window when it was dark, or even go outside when it was dark. I could not go outside because I was so scared. So, yeah, I was also having a lot of delusions about the stars. I couldn't see the stars. It was, at one point, I don't know why, maybe the clouds were in the way or something, but the sky was pitch black and I couldn't see the stars. So, and that's something that kind of creeped me out, and made me have delusions and everything. I also couldn't mention the name Jehovah because it really scared me,